Ohio State Sports Network brings you Extended Buckeye Postgame, presented by Encova Insurance. Here's your hosts, Brandon Beam and Tim Hall.
It's a great day to be a Buckeye. Ohio State gets past Purdue 45-0. What a beautiful Buckeye Saturday. Timmy, great to see you, buddy. What's going on?
Good to see you too, Beamer. Good to be here with all you fine Buckeye fans wherever you're listening. You know what I feel like today? I feel like we can enjoy a college football Saturday and start to let our eyes and ears, look at some of these other games that are going on. And I get what we do. Like we celebrate all Buckeye football game days, right? I was out there. I was out at campus this morning doing some stage announcements, having a good time, going to a watch party. Like it's always great. You celebrate every home game you get at the Shoe, and it's November football as well. But I feel like this kind of game is just what the doctor ordered. You know what I mean? Let's get in.
Low impact on the joints.
Low
today.
Impact, except for Carson Hinsman's joints.
Yeah.
I think he's fine. He was back in.
Thank you, Don Joy. They caught him on the Fox broadcast. He's like, thank you, Mr. Don Joy.
The old Don
knee
Joy.
Braces.
Anyone who's had a procedure themselves or a spouse or partner that's had a procedure knows about the Don Joy braces, right? Good in the brace game. But you just wanted to get in and dominate a game, pitching another shutout today. A lot of my pregame checklist was checked off here today. See, I could have seen maybe a little bit more of just straight dominance from the offensive line for nitpicking. I know we can nitpick later in the show, but as far as just dominating an opponent, leaving no doubt, getting a lot of backups to play some football today.
Yep.
And thank goodness with Hinsman, getting back in there, getting back into the lineup, showing that you and Aaron Scott late in the game, he's been a depth player. Certainly hope that he's okay. Get in and get out relatively healthy. Move on to this Wrigley game, this kitschy, goofy Wrigley Field game that they're going to play next week.
Hate it.
And
Hate
we got our eyes on a game right here today that's a team's last game before a big game against the Buckeyes. And we're just witnessing a beautiful throw by Curtis Rourke in real time. It's going to be 14-3, Indiana over Michigan. Seeing what this is, you got to take care of business against Northwestern. No excuses at all. And then 2 big-time games to finish out November football to see if you can go back to Indianapolis for the first time in what seemed like an eternity.
I think you were correct in the assessment that this is what the doctor ordered. 45-0. Will Howard today, 21 of 26, 263 touchdowns. And then on the ground, 35 carries for $173. I mean, you were doing kind of anything that you wanted to do today offensively. Outside, they did have a slow start. Again, we're going to nitpick.
A little slow start.
A little bit of a slow start. But outside of that, Tim, I mean, when this Buckeye team got rolling, I don't know what there's to complain about today. Purdue was moving the ball, but the defense kind of was stifling. I mean, they were laying the wood all day long. It wasn't an easy on the joints game for Purdue, no doubt. You had a huge special teams play. I mean, you had a block punt in there.
Love it.
You had a Jack Sawyer touchdown, and you had a Lathan Ransom interception. It was great in all 3 phases. Good in all 3 phases.
Can I be mad and nitpicky that Quinshon Judkins didn't get to pop off today? I felt like he got a little unlucky in what was called for him. And I watched those plays. I don't think it's him. I don't think he's missing a read or missing a cutback or a gap. I just think the 11 times he got the ball, for the most part, they were just plays that were stonewalled, plays that were shut down. But that's it. They
happens.
5 yards a carry, right? The Big Ten game, like you said, 173 yards on the ground, 4.9 per carry. Travion was 14.2. It's just some days he gets to cook. You're going to get busted up a little bit. Like the plays are going to be open for this guy, player A, player B. Same talent level, same, general speed and strength and all those things. One guy's going to have it open up. One guy's going to have the brick walls show up there a couple of times. But like you said, Will Howard, 5 incompletions today.
Yeah.
I thought the plays that they were running that opened up for the touchdown passes, just good concepts on those plays.
The G. Scott.
On those routes. Yeah, just great. Just getting a guy open.
G. Scott touchdown was an unbelievable concept.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a riff off of the touchdown that we saw last week from Brandon Ennis. It looked very similar, but this time G. Scott was on the line. He wasn't lined up out in the wide receiver spot like Brandon Ennis was last week.
Correct.
And he's blocking for 3-4 seconds, and then he releases and had 30 yards open grass for him to run.
If you get the time to do that, if you can get the blocking, I love that when you're disguised as a blocker and then you can get open. And I thought the Emeka Ibuka play was great. And it gets to extend his catch streak. And just the fact that we saw a lot of it early on where, again, you'll continue to see, a wide receiver screen. And there's different types of wide receiver screens, as we all know. And I enjoy more of the style where you're using the outside receiver and then the receiver in the slot to kind of throw that block. And then the outside receiver is coming to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So he's catching the football and he's already taking his momentum upfield. I hate the designs where the receiver is stretching out and going way more horizontal than he is going upfield because to me, they feel like they're so easy to diagnose and it just feels like it's a thing. But when you scored with a Mecca, you ran him out of the backfield. He's in motion. He's almost there where the running back would line up and he puts his foot in the ground. You can see that you've caught the safety or the DB that's manned up on him and that he's out of position.
He's beating him immediately.
Cuts back. But what does he do? He gets out 5 yards upfield before he starts running his route to the side. And you've got a talented player in space. You deliver the football, and he does the rest and runs it in. So that was beautiful. I thought the touchdown pass plays were all really, really nice today.
Thought of something else I could complain about. The Will Howard backwards pass to Carnell Tate when he was like running and doing the Patrick Mahomes thing.
Oh, my God.
Don't need it.
Oh,
don't need it. Don't need it.
No. Will. Will, my man. Like every single game, he's had one, right? And sometimes it doesn't even look like the mistake is there because all was well. He picked up the football and it was fine.
It was fine.
But the one thing that we're talking about with Will Howard is how great of a player he's been this year. He has been the guy for this team. I still think he is the guy for this team. I believe in this dude. I think that he's going to have the bigger moments here still to come. Mm-hmm. That's what I think of this guy. But he's such a leader. When you talk to him, he gets it, right? He seems to get everything. You want to just ask him point blank, Will, why are you doing that? Why?
You thought I can make a play.
No, you don't think you can make a play. You're not making that play. You don't throw the football. You don't do that. You're getting tackled. You're throwing it behind you off to the sideline that could be picked up and run back for a touchdown. And then everything that you've worked for here just poof goes away. I know it's not that way because you're winning the game by so many points against Purdue, but it's the metaphor, right? It's the why are we doing this right now in this spot? Think about if you're in a bigger game. Think about if you're playing Texas and what that would do, what that would be like.
What about this Buckeye defense today, Tim? 4 sacks. 5 TFLs.
They did it.
They're about 130-ish minutes of playing defensive football without allowing a touchdown. So no touchdown last game against Penn State, no points today against Purdue. And the last one that they did allow was that fourth quarter touchdown against Nebraska. So they're like at the 130-minute mark of football games without allowing a defensive touchdown.
And just how the level of which they shut them down today.
Yeah.
There was a couple of plays. I mean, they're a real breathing Big Ten football team. They're going to be capable of making a couple of plays here, hitting on a couple of plays. One of their wide receivers had a couple of their wide receivers actually making some nice catches down the sideline, but barely clipping 200 yards. That's a good day at the office. Like you said, the third down efficiency and what you held them to, getting off the field a lot. And one of those, too, I like to use this as a teaching moment, a learning moment. I was glad to see him back in the football game. Edric Houston, who his story, folks, if you follow Buckeye recruiting really, really hard, which I know a lot of you guys do, he was a freakishly talented and gifted defensive end coming in here. High 5-star guy. And he was so heavy when he came in here that I think it immediately shifted to how are we going to get this guy down to a playing weight where he's going to be a speedy edge rusher? Why not move him inside? This guy is like 270-some pounds, 6'5", 6'6", and was, destined to be a defensive end. No, let's put him inside a D tackle. He has that play on third down where you're getting off the field, and he was upset at how Purdue player kind of rolled over him, and he pushed him and got flagged for 15 yards. Obviously, you can't do that in a big game.
It's a great learning moment.
But a learning moment. Yeah. It's not going to bury you on the bench for that. Think about how that felt for your teammates. Think about your teammates that were out there after we pulled you from the game for the rest of that series, and they still got off the field and had your back. And then he got back in there, in the third quarter and had some more series. And I like that player going forward. He is a humongous man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And that was great to see that he did have a bounce back today after the big 15-yard penalty. But how about this Buckeye defense again, Tim, just rattling off the yards that you just did. 206 total, 108 on the ground, 98 on the ground, 108 through the air. But 2 of 12 Purdue on third down.
That's nothing.
That's winning. That's
nothing.
Straight up winning football right there.
You can't win with that.
No.
You can't compete with that.
No.
And that's thanks to this defense.
Hudson Card was under duress all day long. They did a lot of they were stunting, which I was noticing, which it was absent in the first half of the season. They're continuing to implement that a little bit more, which I thought was great. But yeah, Hudson Card had a rough day at the office for him. He was getting beat up pretty good.
And let's point this out too, Beam, because it was the second drive of the game where Ohio State switched up their look and really did seem to go back to what Jim Knowles was more used to doing when he was the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, the other OSU, not here at Ohio State. And they went with 3 down linemen, and they were almost all backups.
Yeah.
They were almost all backups. I think maybe the front 7. I don't think I saw Cody Simon or Sonny Styles in there. I think Reese was in there for a little bit. C.J. Hicks was definitely in the game. So it was almost all backups. Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, K-Mac maybe on the D-line. And they got run all over. They moved it all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And that was the second drive of the game. So almost all of it was when they were experimenting on doing something else. And they got out of that right after, and they put the starters back in the game. I would have preferred to see that maybe once the game was won, once you're up 45-0, then do something like that. But
throw them into the fire.
Thanks to the Purdue kicker, because they were going to get the points right there. Why they kick? I don't get it. You have to explain that to me, Beamer, when it's a 7-0 ball game and you're a 40-point underdog and you find yourself inside the opponent's 3-yard line and you're going to choose to kick a field goal.
Then you miss. That's what you get.
Yeah, it's football karma. Yeah, you're going to stay in the football game here by kicking a field goal. And they kicked a field goal later, too.
Tim, their kicker missed 3 field goals against Ohio State last year, went 0 for 3.
Different guy
Comes in.
And then he
goes
Marcias or something. What was his name?
Yeah, I don't know. Then he goes 0 for 2 today. That's tough.
You guys struggle to kick.
That's tough. I know it's windy out there in West Lafayette, but
is it?
I think so. Yeah, they got when you're on the way to go north in Indianapolis, you go up to Chicago, where the Buckeyes are going to be playing next week in Wrigley. I mean, they got big wind turbines out there. It's definitely windy out there.
So any place that has wind turbines is windy.
That's why they put them there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's exactly why they put them there. Not putting them with a place with no wind.
But how windy?
It's windy.
Just kick the ball. You just kick it through the uprights. You see where the wind is coming from, and then you push it that way. We play golf. We play in wind.
Yeah, we know how to
shoot
do
good scores in wind.
Yeah.
Wind's blowing hard right to left. I'm going to put the ball on the right side and let the wind bring it back.
Jeremiah Smith breaking freshman records today.
Yeah.
Catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Now, all 3 of those are his records here at Ohio State for a freshman.
You want to make any big superlatives about him? Or any big statements about Jeremiah, where this is going?
He's good. He's very good.
Want to go bigger, better than that?
So my stepdad was up. My son, he's 20 months old. So my wife was at the game today. So my stepdad came up and we were just talking about him. And I asked him, because he's a Notre Dame fan, I said, what do you think of Jeremiah Smith?
What do you think of him?
And he was like, I don't understand how Marvin Harrison Jr. can just go off to the NFL and you guys replicate another one in a lab. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, right? Just crazy that this guy's out here and he's just doing his thing.
It's what they do here. It's what they do. So he's up at, 45 catches now, up over 750 yards receiving, and 9 touchdown grabs.
It's great.
He's good.
Yeah, he is good.
I think he'd be the best receiver all time here.
I am having a hard time coming up with a reason to be able to tell you that isn't true.
He's going to have 3 years here. He's going to be up at 3,500 yards and 37 touchdown catches.
More. More.
He's good. And the only plays that he's missed is when he admits. And he'll tell you.
Yeah.
He's honest like that because he's such a hard worker. And anytime that there's a play that was missed and he knows it was on him, he says that. He talks to the media about this on their Wednesday interviews. That play last week where I thought, Will has struggled a little bit with deep balls. He had one that was underthrown to Carnell Tate today. Mm-hmm. And he had one last week in the Penn State game that he threw out of bounds. Yeah. Poor Carnell. Let's let him make a play, right? But then when he throws the one to Jeremiah Smith, he admits he didn't think the ball was coming to him. He had the little hitch in the giddy up, and he couldn't make the play. Tried to bring it in one-handed, and he couldn't make the play. But that's really it, is when he shoots himself in the foot, which he doesn't really do a lot.
It's not happened
like 3 times this year. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he was targeted. How many times was he targeted today? 7, and he had 6 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. It's a good day at the office. Today's broadcast is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes take down the Boilermakers 45-0. Coming up next, we're going to be joined by safeties coach Matt Guerrieri as the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan.
You can join us Thursday at noon for the next Ryan Day Show presented by Roosters. If you got questions about today's game or the upcoming matchup against Northwestern, you can submit them via X at OSU Coach or go to OhioStateBuckeyes.com. Click on the Ryan Day Show inbox icon. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes 45, Boilers nothing. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center.
Buckeye fans, are you game day ready? Ohio State football is back, so get in the zone by adding nutritious and delicious pork to your tailgate menu. Ohio pig farmers are raising wholesome and versatile pork to be the nutritional powerhouse that you need to watch every Buckeye touchdown this season. Head over to ohpork.org to find game day worthy recipes and to learn more about how real Ohio pig farming families care for the land, the water, and their people every day. This ad is paid in part by the Pork Checkoff.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Back here on the postgame show, Buckeyes get it done in a big way, 45-0 against Purdue. We are now joined by safeties coach Matt Guerrieri. Coach, first and foremost, always appreciate the time. Second of all, how about your guys today? Second straight shutout for this Buckeye defense.
Yeah, I love the effort. You know, we just take it one play at a time, one game at a time, and there's a standard of excellence to be a silver bullet, and we preach that, and the guys responded in a great way.
Absolutely, they did. It was good. I mean, anytime you can pitch a shutout through 60 minutes, it was good. Guys flying all around today. I mean, I know that you usually don't talk about the opponent, Coach, but I know there's got to be some banged-up Purdue Boilermakers because you guys were laying the wood.
Yeah, it was good to see the guys running and hitting. You know, we talk about that and imposing your will. You know, we keep it about us. It doesn't matter who the opponent is as a standard, but yeah, obviously from a safety position to be able to watch, you know, Caleb Downs run the alley, make hits, Lathan Ransom run the alley, be able to make hits, make plays on the ball. You know, proud of those guys, and it goes back to the preparation that they put in every single day.
Coach, about Lathan, because he had a terrific game as always. It's awesome to watch him kind of roam around the defensive backfield. But on that interception, just from a coaching standpoint, guy catches the ball in the end zone like Lathan, who's obviously got some open field ability to kind of move around. What are you saying to him if he catches the ball in the end zone and then he comes out? Like, what's the procedure, whether or not to leave the end zone or to stay in the end zone?
That's a great question. Okay, so if I catch the ball and there's green grass in front of me, I can take it, right? If there's not green grass, I'm taking a knee, you know? So sometimes you see, like, back line throws the end zone on dig balls and things like that. If you catch the ball, you got to go down because you're not going to be able to progress. But if you have momentum going forward and you can catch the ball, you have green grass, then take advantage of it in that situation, you know? But the thing we can't do is switch the ball from side to side and have a little bit of lack of ball security right there. So I give him a big old hug and praise him for the play that he made, but we're going to make sure we do a little bit better job securing that football for sure.
Matt Guerrieri is with us on the postgame show. Tell us more about Lathan Ransom, because we've just heard so many stories. Beam, I know you've had him in studio on your local show to talk to him a lot, but as far as just all-time level, like knows what it means to be a Buckeye kind of guy, how high up there on your list is he for just guys you've coached in your career?
A special dude, you know, to be able to start a relationship with him a couple years ago when I was here, and then, you know, be able to coach him now. That's as tough a dude as I've ever had a chance to be around. You know, what he's been through in his career to continue to respond to adversity and then perform the way that he does. What a great leader. What a great young man. What a great football player. I can't say enough about Lathan Ransom.
And then for another guy that Buckeye Nation has just really been thrilled to death to see him transfer here, what can you say about Caleb Downs and just the football IQ that young man possesses?
Special. This is a rare talent. Obviously, he has physical skills. You guys are able to see that, but the football intelligence level is through the roof. And again, it goes back to his preparation level. I mean, what he does from a film standpoint, what he does from a mental preparation standpoint is second to none, and that's why you see a guy that absolutely flies around, running the alley, makes plays in the pass and the run game. This is a special person.
It was good to see, Coach, too, when you guys kind of pulled away in the second half there. You get some guys to be able to rotate. What about Malik Hartford? I mean, laying the wood on some of those plays.
Yeah, it was a great alley run by him. Great job, having a clean key read and then being able to pull his trigger. And that's what we want to be able to see safeties do, you know, to be fast and decisive, not reckless, but if you play with clean eyes and you know what you're supposed to be looking at, you can play fast like that. And it was a great job pulling his trigger right there. So proud of Malik. And again, it goes back to preparation. It goes back to being ready when your number's called, and he did that in a big way.
Matt, you got so many talented players to coach in your group. What was it like when you came back here to coach and you're losing a guy like Sonny Styles, who's in the safety room, now he's in the linebacker room, but he's so fantastic in that spot?
Yeah, no, I love what Sonny's been able to do. And, benefits obviously us now and him in his future too. So, it's our job as coaches to say, okay, here's the pieces and put those pieces in the best position to go make plays. And I think guys are really thriving in the roles that they're in.
Coach, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for popping on with us here. Go enjoy this win. Enjoy the work week, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Thanks. Appreciate you guys. Go Bucks.
Safeties coach Matt Guerrieri with us here on the post-game show. All these guys, defensive backs, are flying around today.
Yes, they were. And he mentioned running the alley in there for Malik Hartford. Guys like Caleb Downs do it. And Lathan Ransom, when he annihilated Hudson Card on the sideline. He came from like 18, 20 yards away.
I've got you right in my scopes.
I got you. Yeah, scoped out. My goodness.
Whammy.
That was such a good hit. Good, clean hit.
Yep.
That gave me, you remember Josh Proctor?
Of course.
In the Big Ten championship game?
Yes, I do.
At the very end, zeros on the clock, not a chance Wisconsin can win, and Jack Cohn just wanted a couple more yards. And then he didn't.
No, he doesn't want those yards anymore.
And then he didn't. And then Josh Proctor just took him out, took him clean out. That was that hit on Lathan Ransom. He's such a good football player.
It is. He really is. And it's good to see him. And you had mentioned that we have him on sometimes because he wants to get into media. Like after he's done playing football, this is something that he wants
He's
to do.
really good. He's going to do it.
And he's very, very good at it. So like on our local show here in Columbus that I co-host with Bobby Carpenter, he comes in from time to time and in the summer. And he's a really awesome human being, and he's really good at doing everything off the field. But you have those conversations with him, Tim, and Matt Guerreri was alluding to it a little bit, just how much he loves being an Ohio State Buckeye. He loves it. He loves playing football here. He was devastated when he has missed games, and he takes every single game that he gets to suit up in the scarlet and gray as it's one of the most important days in his life. Like, that's what it means to him to play here.
Yeah, it means an awful lot. He is up there at the very, very top of the team. Like, you think of guys like Jack Sawyer. You think of him when you think of that. You think of Cody Simon, right, yeah, who's wearing the Blocko, and these guys that it just means, not that it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to most of the players on the roster. I would imagine that it does. It's just there are certain guys you just think about and they just stick with you for whatever reason. I think it's maybe the way that somebody battles back from an injury to come back. I think that has a lot to do with it.
And he's done that multiple times.
Yeah, the way that he just seems to find a way to get back. And it was the one off season where he had a broken leg. I think it was in the Rose Bowl.
I think it was.
And then he's back and he's ready for the start of the next football season. It's just things like that. And obviously you got to be a really good player too. You've got to be someone that's either starting or your snap count is high and you're impacting the game. So you leave an impression on fans and people that cover this team. And Lathan is just one of those safeties. He gives me Jordan Fuller kind of vibes too, with what that guy meant when he was still here. He's a guy you're definitely going to miss when he's gone. He's such a good tackler and gets a lot done.
Today's broadcast is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes take down the Boilermakers of Purdue 45-0. Coming up next, we're going to check your scoreboard from across the country as the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan.
You can join us Tuesday night at 6 p.m. for our next Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Our broadcast team of Jim Lachey, Paul Keel, Skip Mossick, they're going to break down today's game, preview next week's matchup against Northwestern. That's Buckeye Roundtable Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, the final score today, Buckeyes 45, Boilermakers nothing. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Formather, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostateformather.com. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are
The never afraid to innovate teams. The agile, get it done teams. The achieve more together teams. And the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
It's Bobby Carpenter. Join us Monday morning at 6 for the Morning Juice on 97.1 The Fan.
This is the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
2 tight ends, flip-flop, go from left to right. Jelani Thurman and G. Scott Howard in the pistol. Behind him is Travion Henderson. Ibuka moving in motion. Howard pivots to his right, looking to throw. Looking, tosses it back left side. Caught by G. Scott at the 10. And he's going to waltz right into the end zone. G. Scott for a touchdown. 15 yards. Will Howard to G. Scott, his second TD catch of the year. And Ohio State ahead at 13-0.
It was a really good play call, too. Really, really good play design.
That's the one we broke down earlier. Loved everything about that. That was just a good one in Chip Kelly's playbook to keep that one.
Yeah, as long as you can.
If you can find the spot again for it.
If you can keep Will Howard on his feet for that long, because it did take G. Scott probably 2.5, 3 seconds to finally release from his block as the entire play is drifting right, and then it's just straight up backdoor Tim, and you hear Big Daddy Paul Keels right there waltzing into the end zone. I mean, he had 30 yards of green grass around him in every single direction. Like, there was no Boilermaker in sight when he caught that football.
It's one of those touchdowns where you're unsure of how much to even celebrate it when he's walking in, because you know you've scored.
Yeah.
As
soon as that pass was completed, it was a touchdown.
That touchdown. This is great. You can
6 points.
You take a bathroom break and just know that you've scored the touchdown and just hope for the best for the extra point. Nobody misses extra points anymore.
That was one catch, 15 yards for G. Scott Jr. and the 1 touchdown. He did have a second target in there, but he was not able to pull that one down. But it was a great performance by him. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Always and forever your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS-FM HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Little Jelani Thurman catch, too. He had a much easier time corralling the ball today from Will Howard than he did last week against Penn State with catching the ball like 5 times. But Jelani Thurman also getting the mixer today.
That was a great catch, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, he was right near the sideline. I don't know if he actually had to toe tap or toe drag, but he had to do a little stutter. He did. He did a little stutter and got the feet in. Good to see, some of your other guys stepping up, right? With the impact that you saw, Bennett Christian get to play a little bit now. G. Scott, it's great to see him score that touchdown. I thought at the start of the year that we'd see a lot more of G. Scott in the passing game and get some stuff over the middle of the field. And who the heck knows? There's still a lot of season left, and I think, knowing that, there are still some things that this staff has not even brought to light yet.
Yeah, we saw a couple of counter traps today, too.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Fryer pulling around from the right side on Travion run. So, yeah, they've got a whole different thing. They still have plenty in their arsenal that I don't think that we have even seen yet from this Chip Kelly / Ryan Day offense. Buckeyes and Boilermakers weren't the only teams in college football playing today. Check out what's going on across the country. You want to start with the Nooners, Tim, or you want to start with what's going on right now?
Let's go back here. Let's go back. Let's go to the conference action first, all right? We have a couple of teams that I don't think we know about. We know last night Iowa had to take the trip out west, and this UCLA team has not been a very good football team.
Recently.
They're better recently, right? They're starting to figure some things out under Deshaun Foster, their former running back. And they topped Iowa 20-17, Hawkeyes are 6-4. UCLA is 4-5. There's a lot of programs like that with records like that just smashed in the middle of this league. Yeah. And Purdue is really the only one that's completely out of it as far as bowl eligibility at 1-8 now, way down there. But Rutgers was hosting Minnesota today, and it was the Gophers getting things started.
Another third down here for the Gophers now. 3rd and 8 after the incomplete. Straight handoff to Taylor right side. He's got a seam inside the 10 to the 5. Diving forward. Touchdown.
Call there from Minnesota radio. Mike Grimm from Learfield. But this was the Athan Kaliak-Manis game.
Yes, it was.
You had a Minnesota quarterback transfer to Rutgers, and Rutgers just kept chipping away. Got back into this thing.
Hanging around,
and making some things happen in the fourth quarter, and they are the ones that pull away with a 26-19 win over Minnesota. So Rutgers improves to 5-4. Minnesota drops to 6-4. Later on, you're going to have Penn State host Washington. That's an 8 o'clock game. We'll see what Penn State brings to the table after their emotional loss to the Buckeyes. Number 1 Oregon is going to host Maryland at 7 o'clock. And while I get the Big Ten scoreboard up right here, current game happening. This is one that's very intriguing to folks all across the country and even here in Columbus for this team being on their schedule.
Both teams being on the schedule.
Both teams are on the schedule. The last 2 games in this November slate. What do you think of number 8, Indiana, and this 14-3 lead over Michigan heading towards halftime, Beam?
I think they've looked really good. Curtis Rourke has looked awesome. You and I have had our eyeballs on this game, Tim.
He's got 182 passing yards.
He is dicing Michigan up currently at the minute, and they just got a first down, and then it was called back because it was an illegal pick play. Indiana now kicking the field goal, looking to go up 17-3. There's 2.5 minutes left to go in this football, or not in the football game, but in the half. Over in Bloomington. They are a really good football team.
And they nail the 40-yard field goal. Did you see the look on Kurt Signetti's face there? He's
hated
upset
that he had to kick the field goal.
Just upset.
He's upset at everything all the time.
I mean, he's got his hands on his hip. He's angry. Like, why are we only beating this team by 2 touchdowns right now? I'm just saying, you might be in for a butt kicking in the second half. That Indiana team might just open up the floodgates on Michigan in the second half. Watch out for that.
If you have not been watching any of this game, they are humming. Indiana is absolutely humming.
Chunk plays on offense.
Left and right.
Chunk plays, and then they've just hit a wall with a penalty, or just they tried to go for it on 4th and 12 on a previous drive because they were at the 32-yard line. That seems like a Signetti thing to do. We're going to go for it on 4th and 12.
It's going to be a fun game
because I want to.
Yeah. It's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be interesting.
Is that an Al Davis special for you?
Yeah, I think it is. I'd like to win that by 2 touchdowns, but I think you got to respect these guys. That could be a 10-0 football team coming into your place
off a bye
in 2 weeks.
They've got a bye coming up next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a just win baby game. Let's look to the scoreboard. Let's go current games in the top 25. Kansas is trying to throw a wrench into Iowa State's season. Iowa State ranked 17th, 7-1. Kansas has lost just a ton of games by 1 possession. They're only 2-6, but they are hammering Iowa State 31-13. That one is at the break. Beamer, how about number 16 Ole Miss hosting number 3 Georgia? 2-minute warning before half. Georgia's got the ball, but trailing 16-7.
Yeah, Jackson Dart went down in this game. Ole Miss quarterback a little bit. He is back in the football game. This is an eliminator game for sure for Ole Miss. If they go down, then watch out. They're not getting into the college football playoff, but they can beat Georgia. Georgia would then have 2 losses. And you'd have to watch out for Ole Miss because their final 2 games of the season is at Florida, who we'll tell you about in a second how their day went today. And then, of course, it's the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. So
very winnable.
2-loss Ole Miss. If they get past Georgia today, Tim, that could be a very, very big deal for Lane and the boys.
Number 25 Army is beating North Texas 7-3 at the half. I mean, Army's undefeated. They are 8-0, trying to get to 9-0 here today.
You know I love the triple option.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Virginia Tech is beating number 23 Clemson down in Blacksburg. That one is 7-0 at the half.
Here's a fun fact for you about that game, because Clemson had a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. That's how Virginia Tech
That's the score?
I think so.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I'm pretty sure I saw something on social media about that. That is 3 field goals in a row that Clemson have had blocked. 3 in a row that they have had.
You're right. Hauser returns at 46 yards in the second quarter. Blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. Holy smokes.
3 in a row.
Some games that are in the books. Let's go to the number 5 team in the country. Texas was hosting a Florida team that just said that they are hanging on to Billy Napier next year. Good timing to do that with a lot of tough games for Florida coming up. And listen to how Texas just spread its wings on the Gators.
First down, play action. And it's set a screen back to the left side. Here's Weiser. 45, 40 breaks free. Down to the 30, to the 20. Say goodnight to this one. Trey Weiser in for the touchdown. A 50-burger to the house for Trey Weiser.
That is a tasty burger. Craig Way from Learfield, the call with Texas. That would be all you needed. That was 21-0 at that point in time. 49-17, Texas all over the Gators. And how about the Georgia Tech-Miami game? You want to tell them about that one?
We were having a lot of fun in the studio because the Buckeye game was basically over. So the other TV in the studio was on the Miami and Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech was up in this football game by how many points, Tim? They were up by 12, I believe. Georgia Tech was up by 12 points in this game.
Yeah, they were up 21-10. 21-10 in the late third quarter.
Miami scores a touchdown. They cut the lead to 5. Georgia Tech has a chance to put the game on ice with a couple of first downs, just exactly like Ohio State did last week against Penn State. They can't do it. They can't get the first down. Miami gets the ball left. Under 2 minutes. 2-minute timeout is gone. Cam Ward, this is your Heisman moment. 2nd and 10. He's running around about 8-9 seconds, moving, shaking. Ball gets stripped from him. Georgia Tech jumps on it. Georgia Tech upsets number 4 Miami 28-3. The ACC is a bad football conference.
Man, how about Georgia Tech? They use a couple of quarterbacks, but they've got this Haynes King guy that I'm a fan of. He's just a tough player. Will run it, 15 to 20 times a game.
What does the ACC even look like right now?
You're going to have to pull it up. I know they had a deal here where and the possibilities are over now because SMU is now the only undefeated conference team now. But they might have some crazy tie-break situations to go through. Miami is 5-1 in the ACC. Clemson is 5-1 in the ACC. We just mentioned they're trailing Virginia Tech. And Pitt is 7-1 overall, but just 3-1 in conference play. They've had a bye that'll even itself up. So we'll see how that goes for the ACC. One of them is going to be a top 4 seed.
There should only be one ACC team to get into the college football playoff this year.
I agree with that.
Should be a one team league.
Well, there's only one ranked. Let me pull up the college football playoff ranking again.
Yeah,
just Miami at number 4. And just so you know, just so you're aware, because I know a lot of people were talking about this when the rankings were released on Tuesday. If anyone had any questions about this, they are just ranking the teams as they see fit. But my opinion was they're showing you in real time how bad their format is because they're telling you what the teams are ranked, and then they show you the bracket off to the side. And as we know, the conference champs of the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC automatically get 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you've got BYU as the number 9 team, and they're going to be a top 4 seed. I thought none of us liked the fact that we had this in the NFL where you get a 7-9 team in a horrible division and they get to host a playoff game. I thought we were always talking about retooling that, go to a different kind of, you get to make how about the goal is you make the playoffs? You win your conference, you're automatically in. But you don't steal one of the top 4 seeds.
Just like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, just like the NCAA tournament. You win your conference, you're in. You're not going to get you think Colgate is getting a 5 seed?
Seed you appropriately.
Are you kidding me? No. You'll be a 14 or a 15, whatever your seed is. But that's what's going on. Yeah, the next best ACC team is SMU. They were 13th. So out of the field. Yeah. Out of the field in the first poll. Miami was 4. That's going to be a 1-bid league for sure.
What are you watching tonight? You got your eyes on Baton Rouge?
I think you know. We had a listener checking us out from Baton Rouge, Buckeye fan down there.
Caleb.
Obviously a big team, a big game going on in that town tonight.
It's an eliminator game as well. I mean, one of those teams will be eliminated from the college football playoff tonight.
It is their product, though.
You're right.
Are they eliminated?
3 lost Alabama.
I mean, they're really good. A really good 3-loss team. Look at who they lost to, Beamer. Vanderbilt. Solid team.
Yeah.
Solid team.
Good team. How'd the Dayton Flyers do today? They lost to San Diego, the Toreros of San Diego, 16-10. Sad Adam Troutman.
Jim Harbaugh, coach San Diego?
I think.
First coaching stop?
Was it?
USD?
San Diego. I've never heard of them.
I'm going to say yes.
We'll look that up during the break.
The internet could tell you if you want to know that.
Today's broadcast is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe, Ohio State 45, Purdue nothing. Coming up next, we're going to hear from head coach Ryan Day as the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Got school spirit? The Junto welcomes friends, families, and alumni to come together for a weekend getaway or staycation this football season. As a guest of the Junto, enjoy complimentary transportation to all Saturday home football games. On game day, gather, imbibe, and dine at Little West Tavern, our neighborhood eatery featuring wood-fired select cuts, a range of classic pours, and weekend watch parties. Enjoy on-site dining, downtown views, and plenty of school spirit from the Junto, your new home away from home. Visit thejuntohotel.com for more information and to book your stay.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Next week, Ohio State is at Northwestern, kind of. They're playing at Wrigley Field. We're going to be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes 45, Boilers nothing. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Tate, Scott, and Ennis wide right. Smith wide left. Henderson to the left of quarterback Will Howard, who's in a shotgun. Howard gets the snap, sets up at the Purdue 27 to throw. Fires down on the right flat, caught by Smith, 15, races to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Jeremiah Smith. 17-yard TD pass from Will Howard. Jeremiah Smith into the end zone with his 9th receiving touchdown. 20-0 Ohio State.
It's JJ's world. We're just living in it. 6 catches, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Similar to the G. Scott touchdown, Tim, when he caught it, you immediately
knew
said
it was
to
a
yourself,
touchdown.
Touchdown, 6 points.
Yep, I can head off and get another drink because he's waltzing into the end zone. That's good design, right? That's good design. That means that you prepared well, that you've schemed well, and you are getting the ball into the hands of your best players with room to run. And you just, like you said, you know their scores once they catch the football. And it's just good to see him beef up his stats because he's such a good player. He deserves it. And he broke the freshman receiving record today for touchdowns.
In all kinds.
Yeah.
He's got them all now.
He's
got
catches,
the
yards, touchdowns. Yep. So he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best true freshman receiver to ever do it here. That's pretty special.
He's still got 3 games to go in the regular season.
And a lot more games after that, we hope. At least 4 more games after that, we hope.
We do hope.
Just think about that for a second, where we are now with how long a college football season could be. You got 13 games if you can make it to the Big Ten championship game.
Played 9 so far.
Yeah, if you played 9, then you get a quarter, semi, and a national championship game if you're that good. And there's a chance you could play 17.
Yeah.
If you make it to your conference championship game, maybe and it doesn't go your way, you don't get that bye. You might have to host a first-round game or play on the road. It could be a 17-game run to the national championship.
That's a lot of football.
Woo-hoo.
Glad Jeremiah Smith's on the Buckeyes for that.
Oh, I am too. And their wide receivers, the depth that they have at wide receiver is just nuts. It's good to see Carnell Tate get to make a bunch of catches. Do you have his number up there?
6'4", 56.
That's great. Yeah, I thought he had some good catches over the middle. He had some. It would have been a bigger day. Again, we mentioned the one that was underthrown for him that he still almost came up with. And Thieneman, he's a really good player. We're talking about Purdue guys. At Dylan Thieneman, true freshman last year. I think he had 106 tackles. He can play. He's an NFL dude. Karlaftis' younger brother, Yanni, plays for Purdue as well. He's a good player. But here's Ryan Day stepping up to the podium. Yeah, a lot of people are curious and just want him to speak more on Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen it, and now he's going to have to play his best because he's got a lot of it on film, and we're in November now, and so all those matchups are going to matter. But he's getting stronger. He's getting more experienced. He's understanding of coverages and different things, and so we're going to need everybody though. But great to see him, break a record.
Beamer, it's good to see that third phase of football really come into place for Ohio State, and you score a touchdown off of it. That's a big deal. So Ryan talking also about the special teams performance.
Yeah, and there was a challenge set out in special teams. We, went back and changed some stuff on personnel. We felt like we had something on, in the punt block. We put Cade and Mitch off the edge there, which was, we felt like a good matchup for us in that moment, put a lot of work into it. But then those guys have to go execute it, and they did. And we felt like, especially in the first half of this game, coming off the emotional win of last week, that getting a special teams either steal a possession or a big play could jumpstart us in the game. I thought it did.
And it did do that. And Caden Curry did a really nice job of getting to that. You could kind of see him. If you were at the football game, you saw it. If you were listening, you didn't see it. I mean, Caden Curry is breaking down.
Like a basketball player playing defense.
It's like a mirror. It was like a mirror drill when he was doing it. He was like breaking down, and then he saw the punter kind of take a half step. He delayed it and said, all right, now I'm just straight up going to go for it.
Well, because these punters nowadays are mobile.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily just sit back there like Tom Tupa and catch the ball and boot it. They're all Aussie-style punters these days. And so they will take it and they will roll to their dominant side. And it honestly, it's a good weapon to have, right? It was a weapon, I think, that came along because it helped prevent blocked punts. You could actually juke a guy and then roll and then still get the ball away. Maybe
or if you have
still
open
punt
field,
it 40 yards.
you could run it for 30 yards.
Take it off and run it. We've seen that before when some Ohio State punters tried to take life into their own hands and how that works.
That's your own problem when you get up into open grass.
Don't necessarily like to see that. Let's hear one more, Ryan, talking about the performance of that defense.
I thought JT and Jack were both very disruptive, and certainly the forced fumble and scoop and score was the epitome of that in this game. But like you said, it starts up front, and I think Tyleek was available. He could have played, but we felt like we were going to hold him unless we really needed him. Plan on getting him back for next week, full go. But it was good to see some other guys step up and have to get in there and play. And It's everybody across the board. I thought the DBs were, solid in coverage. I only think they had I don't know how many, 9 completions. So anytime that happens, 3 sacks, you get in the backfield, it makes a big difference.
Only 9 completions. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. The punt was not returned for a touchdown, but it's set up, you're at the 5 or whatever. And it was the scoop and score that I was thinking of. Also just a great play.
Took you 4 plays to punch it in, but you got it.
You got it. I love how Will Howard just kept feeding himself.
Yeah. You know what, guys?
I'm scoring.
Tonight, I'm eating.
3 straight runs for him.
Today's broadcast is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Again, the final score, Buckeyes 45, Boilermakers nothing. Coming up next, we're going to wrap things up, hand out some Buckeye leaves as the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through December 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 24 Tacoma SR5 double cab for $279 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
Imagine a tailgate. The heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan.
Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Again, the final score today, Ohio State 45, Purdue nothing. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
It's Bobby Carpenter. Join us Monday morning at 6 for the Morning Juice on 97.1 The Fan.
This is the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Reggie Love is behind Hudson Card in the pistol formation. Love gets a handoff running left side, bounces off Jalen Tuimoloau. He fumbles the football, and that's going to be picked up by Jack Sawyer and run into the end zone for a touchdown. Ohio State defensive end Jack Sawyer picked up the loose pigskin as defensive end Jalen Tuimoloau had knocked it out of the hands of Reggie Love, and Ohio State gets their third defensive touchdown of the year. They lead at 37-0.
thought it was a peanut punch from JT Tuimoloau. Ended up, he was just wrapping him up. Ball came down. Jack was there. A little bear paw. Boom. One hand into the end zone.
Just a great play. Yeah. We both thought that was the peanut punch.
Yeah.
We're just sort of trained to think that because there's so many guys on this defense that do it.
Lathan does
Ransom.
every play.
Lathan Ransom is the guy. He's been successful at that. I still remember that one that was early in the season. I think it was against Western Michigan or somebody where they got driven on almost the whole length of the field and they almost recovered the ball at the 3-yard line. Those are those special kind of turnovers where you feel like you're about to give up 6 and then you just get the ball back. You know, either the interception in the end zone or a sack fumble.
Davison last week against Penn State.
Davison Igbinosun, perfect example of that. Like those game-changing, momentum-swinging kind of plays. It's on one hand, we've got what we had today where you score a touchdown off of that. The other team is deep in its own territory. But then you have those plays that are just as game-changing, if not more, in my opinion, when you hurt the opposition so much because they are expecting to score points. You almost have that confidence kick. Like even if we don't score a touchdown, we're getting a field goal, we're getting something. You take that away from a team, and then you're going back the other way. You get your offense on the field. Those are the best.
Even Lathan today with his interception in the end zone, too. He kind of had one of those. I know they weren't like inside the 5 getting ready to score.
Still counts.
But he got one in the end zone. All right, time for some leaves.
It's time to hand out some Buckeye leaves.
Since we've been talking about him a lot and we had Matt Guerreri on, Lathan Ransom, Buckeye leave today. That guy was all over the place, a couple of hit sticks. Great game on him.
There's so many leaves to give out.
Everyone who played today.
There's so many. I mean, you even go down the list to someone like Malik Hartford, who guys that get in their spot duty and play really good football and make the most of that. And like Guerreri said, he was running the alley and he came in on a couple of plays and put his hat on somebody. That was great to see. All the way down to, Jaden Field Goal. Jaden Field Goal. I love it. There's the T-shirt. You're welcome. Jaden Field Goal. He just gets the job done.
How about a Joshua Mickens Buckeye leave?
Yeah,
that was a nice game from him.
Yeah, he had the sack there. That was well done. Lathan Ransom, Jack Sawyer, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Cody Simon run through the
Caden
Buckeye
Curry.
leaves the sheet. Yeah, Caden Curry with the play that he made. Peyton Pierce, seen him get in on the action. That was great, too. Just so many good Buckeyes. I'd also like to say, whoever was doing the jackets for James Laurinaitis' girls, I don't know if you saw a Twitter post today, Beam.
I did.
Maverick, the baby, James was carrying the baby in, like walking through the tunnel. That was kind of cool. Maverick, not knowing what this was like, but going through the tunnel for the first time, handed the baby off to the lovely wife. But the girls were all wearing custom 33 jackets.
That was good.
With silver sleeves. I thought that was so cool.
I'd wear one of those.
James, you throw a couple of those our way.
Come
we'll
on,
wear
Coach.
Them for you.
I'll wear them. I'll rock them. I think everybody who played today, every Buckeye got a Buckeye leaf today.
Got the job done.
Yeah, they did.
And now 45-0.
And now you move on to Northwestern at Wrigley Field, which I'm not looking forward to at all.
I am.
Are you?
It's Wrigley.
Yeah. But it's just
when they put the lights up here, owners thought that, more people could attend night games.
I'd like to keep my football in football stadiums.
I understand.
It would be cool to go to as a fan. I'm really worried about the ivy in the back portion of the end zone.
I am too. That's always the concern. It's hopefully you take care of business enough where you make that adjustment. In all honesty, yes, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they try to do these things.
Play the game at their 8,000 seat stadium right by the lake.
We can agree. Right. There's that stadium that I think is really cool for just 1 year. Wrigley is one of the most iconic facilities we have in this country, maybe in the world, for sports. So that's what it is. That's why they're doing this. It doesn't make any sense why we can't just enjoy the baseball games there. I think they're going to play. I think the Buckeyes are going to play a hockey game there soon after. I don't remember if that's the Michigan game, but they are going to play a hockey game there. That makes more sense.
That's cool.
You're not going to go into the Ivy,
playing hockey.
You're not going to run off the ice, go through the boards, and then run into the ivy, but you can as a football player running a go route.
Are they still standing on the same sideline, too, the teams?
I don't know.
It's going to be weird.
I don't know.
It's going to be weird.
We'll have connections. We'll talk to people about
Timmy,
it.
I had so much fun with you today. What do you say we reconvene around this same time next Saturday as the Buckeyes get ready to play Northwestern?
Hopefully no one's caught in the ivy.
Yeah, let's hope not. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick. On behalf of our studio producer, Panama Teddy Holbrook, and for Timmy Hall, I'm Brandon Beam, inviting you to join us Tuesday night at 6 for Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King, and then Thursday at noon for the Ryan Day Show presented by Roosters. Next week, Buckeyes are at Northwestern. We're going to be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Today's broadcast was presented by Union Home Mortgage and brought to you statewide by Bob Evans Farms and by Encova Insurance. Once again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes blank the Boilermakers 45-0. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physician for Ohio State Athletics. This has been Buckeye Football from Learfield.
And brought to you locally by State Farm, your Central Ohio Toyota dealers, and by the Diamond Cellar on your home of the Buckeyes. Live and local weekdays beginning at 6 a.m. with Morning